Welcome to my home, you guys. Today's video is sponsored by myself. I fund my own life. I wanted to give you a tour of a home here in Ireland that my husband and I are renting together. This is kind of somewhat of a typical floor plan. First of all, when you go in to the right, we have a garage, which is more or less common here. A lot of people end up converting them. How much do we love these bright pink walls? The perks of renting. But a great big, they call them more the sitting room than the living room. But great storage space. That double doorway leads on to the kitchen area. Beautiful big windows, which I love so much because it lets in so much natural light. Next, we are going to go to the downstairs toilet, as they call it, more so than the bathroom. Every light switch here is always going to be on the outside of the bathroom, which is somewhat interesting. I love these kind of old-fashioned keys that you'll find on a lot of the doorways, which is really fun. Kind of makes you feel like you're in medieval times or something. A lot of times the sinks will have the hot and cold separate taps. And they'll also have the basin that's sitting on top without any storage space on the underside of the sink. Underneath the staircase is a quite common place to find it as well. So if you go straight through from the front doorway, you go into the kitchen. This is somewhat on the smaller side of a kitchen here. We do have a little stool, kind of bar area. I love these kind of dark apricot kind of color walls. It's really pretty. Fairly decent sized dining room, but the kitchen is a little bit on the smaller side. There is only a mini fridge. We do have a dishwasher, so we are quite lucky there. A lot of times you will only find the one sink. It's not a double sink. So I'm just showing now just a bit of the storage area. So looking out to the backyard so you can get a sense of about how big the backyards are. A lot of times there's kind of a big communal green area, and oftentimes a shed out there as well. So a lot of the kitchens here, I have yet to see a kitchen with a full pantry. So any food, any dry foods that you have always have to fit inside the cupboards. This is the switch to turn on and off the electricity for the stove and the oven. So kind of standard cupboard space. However, there's only a few of them. So again, any food that you have has to fit into these areas because there's not really much room otherwise unless you bring in a cabinet of some kind that you can fit elsewhere. As you can see, my spices have to live on the countertop, and all the drawers are quite full because there aren't too many to fit bits and bobs that you would use in your kitchen. So off the kitchen, we are lucky that we have a separate utility room. Here's a doorway to the backyard. That is our dryer. We don't have a dryer in the house. Again, quite common. All our cleaning supplies here. This is actually our oil heating system. So you can set the temperature more or less, not a specific temperature, but levels low to high. And then above it is either you can have it just on, generally on to the temperature that you set it for, or on a clock system. So it's a 24-hour clock system. That would be on. And then if you have it set to clock and then the times, you would punch those in. And at those times, the heating would come on. So it's not too old-fashioned. We get away with it for sure. This is our washer. We're very lucky a lot of the times in houses built in this time, I'd say around the 90s, I'm guessing, 80s or 90s, the washer would actually be in the kitchen. So a lot of times where you would have seen the dishwasher is where the washer would be. So luckily it's in the utility room. So there is a door that we can close for when it's on those higher cycles. And then our mini freezer to match our mini fridge that's inside. So having come up the stairs, there's a small landing. Use that bookcase for other various things. So a lot of the times, again, showing the light is on the outside, a lot of the times these homes would have had one bathroom for the entire household. Again, showing that it's the basin without any storage. There's no medicine cabinet of any kind, no storage inside. I stole this from downstairs. Luckily, there's a space to keep it for all my toiletries and my cleaning products. So this, as you'll see, has no shower curtain. There's a little bit of a lip there. That one runs off of immersion, so you have to heat the water for about 20 minutes in advance. You'd want to turn it on. Water heater is right next to it in a kind of a storage area as well, which is handy. So this is one of the bedrooms. It's the smallest ones. A lot of times they call it a box room. So just enough for a single bed, and there's no cupboard or cabinet or anything in here. Before there was a small dresser that I moved to make room for a little office. So this is just to show the attic space. A lot of times there will be this kind of large hook, and it pulls down for a small kind of folding ladder. That's it, gone out. I went up and I tried to show, but it's just so dark up there. Unfortunately, the video wouldn't catch it, but it is the length of the house, just with the dropped eaves. So just kind of enough room to store a few things. This is the double bedroom that I have converted into my own. I've taken over as just kind of a vanity and storage place. This is the master suite. We're very lucky. It is quite big. We have more cupboard space up here, as well as a dresser on the other side. It's not typical here that you would find a walk-in closet. So again, we're quite fortunate there's enough wall space that even additional dressers, if we needed them, we could bring them in. Here's a view of our nice rainy day. We have a beautiful view of the neighborhood. We're very fortunate because we have a mini ensuite. So a tiny little, kind of a shortened sink. So a small little sink. As you can see, there's no built-in cabinets of any kind, so you kind of have to find space where you can. This, we're very fortunate, is an electric shower. So you pull the cord, it would turn it on and off, and the hot water would be ready to go. So unlike the other one, where you'd have to turn on the hot water about 20 minutes in advance, this one's ready to go right away. Unfortunately, in the bathrooms, there are no wall outlets or wall sockets. There's only these that might be in there for shavers, which are a different outlet system. But as far as the inside of the bathroom, along the walls, you will not find an outlet. Back down to the kitchen, one thing that I forgot to mention, and it has honestly been one of the hardest adjustments for me, is that there are no garbage disposals in the kitchen sink. So you have to get this little food catcher, and all the food from your plates has to go into a special bin. So it makes cleanup at the end of the night a little more tedious, but we make do. So that is the end of the tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it gives a bit of a glimpse of what life in Ireland looks like.